Hey there! If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. I'll say that again. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast. Oh, yep, with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started. Now it's time for the Big Bad Broadcast.
I remember one time we were working, Lane's Merge and I, we were working this club in Closter, New Jersey, and I don't know, Maggie's Dockside or something like that. And he was emceeing, and he was pissed about that. And he screwed up my name. Because on the show tonight is Julia Scott. And I went, Scotty, with an I. It's an I. How hard is it to remember? All right. That's it. I'm done with Lane's Merge. He can go fuck himself for all I care.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time now to welcome you to Bitchin Baby Boomers.
Good afternoon, Bitchin Baby Boomers, and welcome to our podcast, live podcast, verbal podcast, any kind of podcast
Video
you
podcast.
want. We got it. We got podcasts. We got podcasts up the gazoo. And you can see us on our website at www.thebbbbradio.com. And I got that right for the first time. And
Somebody give him a Twizzler.
We got a great show for you this week. We got Julia Scotti,
Yay.
very funny comedian. And, we got a great show. We got the normal people that we have on the show every week, our original cast of crazies. We got Dean of the Clown College, Mr. Mike Grief.
Hey, that's right. I got your boom right here. Right here, I got your boom. Boom disc.
And we got the mind reader, Joe Silkie. And his mind just told him that Eunice may not be real. And we have right back from the set of The Walking Dead. He didn't even change his makeup. We have Mike Mitchell.
You look
He's having a little trouble with his camera. It looks like they just sucked out the blood out of him and gave it to Joe.
You might want to wash off the lens there. Something. Clean the screen, man.
Look, I know my camera's shit, but, I'm just trying. And, by the way, John, none of us are normal. So
No.
Yeah.
So we're going to start a GoFundMe page to get a transfusion. Because it's cheaper than a new camera.
Start GoFundMe page to go to space. We're going to space. How about that?
We're going to space. It's been a big space week.
Yes.
It's really been a big space week, right?
No,
Billionaire space race.
Did we do any undercover stuff on that, Joe?
Well, it's funny that you say that, it's been for a long time, rich people in space. As a matter of fact, I turned up an old movie that shows just that.
I don't believe it.
Really, Joe?
Yep.
Bye.
That really gave me a headache.
You got a headache. I soiled my undergarments.
Oh my God! Come on, Bezos had to shape his rocket like a dick because that's the only way he could get it up.
You know, I actually downloaded a picture of a radar, a picture of his ship. There it is.
Oh, that's not the radar of his ship. That's his colonoscopy.
Oh, okay.
Come on, man. What's next? Rich guy says, what Thurston Howell, I hear, is getting ready to go to space.
Love it.
He's got Gilligan on the bicycle. Got Gilligan on the bicycle there. They're racing the professors.
That may be the next episode on a 6-hour flight.
The weather's starting getting
hey, don't kid yourself. You could probably sell it with all the creativity Hollywood has.
So I'm just wondering, does that have a cockpit or is that redundant?
Oh my God. I can't really believe that's the shape of it. And if you saw the videos of them, they all sat around in a circle with a big round thing on it. Remind me of that. Remember that ride you go on when you were a kid? You would spin that thing until you threw up.
Yes.
and then they were like a bunch of idiots, man. As soon as they got up in space, they all just unbuckled, started floating around. Yeah. Oh, you know.
Did you see the parachute when they came back? It shaped like a condom.
No.
However,
I saw the reservoir tip.
However, they had on that flight the one and only 83-year-old Wally Funk. Let me give you a little background on Wally Funk that I did some research. Wally Funk was an original Mercury astronaut, and she trained for 15 years and was able to pass the physical, her and a woman, and they beat out about 100 men and went through all the astronaut training, and then NASA said, women don't go to space.
What?
Well, unless they're making sandwiches.
Right.
Oh, no.
So her whole life, her and her friend trained, and all she dreamed about was going to space. And Bezos said, I'm going to take you on your space flight, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
Did he give her a
coupon? Or you said she's 83?
He said, I'm going to take you as long as you don't try to park this thing. No.
She's like 83. It's like Betty White in space, you know?
I know.
She might have been flying because I noticed that the turn signal is on all the way up into low Earth orbit.
It's a pretty amazing thing, you know. I mean, look, you're 83. You think that your space days are over.
Yeah. Well, look at what Branson. I mean, what's he, 70? How old is Branson?
107.
107.
Branson happens to be my age. He's 70.
So he's really old then. I mean, so come on, man. He's like the Willie Nelson of billionaires.
Let me tell you something.
We're going to space, man.
Let me tell you something. Branson is like the coolest guy in the world. Do you know his whole story? He went into a record store and they were rude to him. So he started Virgin Atlantic Records. Put half the other record companies out. He went on a flight, didn't like the way he was treated. So he started Virgin Atlantic Records.
And he started with like $1 billion. Where did he get his money to start with?
I have no idea.
He went to a bar and he asked for a Bloody Mary, and it wasn't good. So he actually got a Virgin Mary.
But he's a real, I don't know. I just think he's like kind of a cool millionaire. It's like they asked him if he's going to go up in his spaceship again. He said no. He goes, I've been rescued out of the ocean 5 times trying to go around the world in a balloon.
Yeah. And then, and did Elon Musk, has he gone yet? I mean, and isn't he has like Tourette's or something, doesn't he? He's like, yeah, go to space. Go to space.
There's Asperger's.
Definitely going to space. Yeah.
I think Musk just does stuff to like screw people up. I mean, now you see his new truck that looks like something out of Road Warriors.
No.
That's coming out. Have you seen it?
No.
It's the coolest looking thing you've ever seen in your life.
Oh, I have a picture of it.
Yeah, show it.
Is it electric?
It's electric.
It vibrates.
All bit. But the thing about it is, this week he announced that it's going to steer with the back wheels.
It's like a forklift.
People are like, what?
A forklift steers with the back wheels.
Yeah, he goes, that's the way it should steer. Yeah, it's not the way it should steer. Back wheels.
Like a fire engine. Yeah. Like the fire engine. Yeah, definitely. I like fire engines. We're going to steer from the back.
I'm going to buy the fire engines at Kmart. Definitely Kmart. Yeah, definitely Kmart.
Yeah. And Richard Branson, I mean, he has like the world record on the catamaran. He's got a 125-foot catamaran. And it carries 2 of the catamarans that I have on top of it for sporting. 2 of my boats on top. Just like you have a life raft on the side. Yeah, he's cool. I like him.
I have a picture of the catamaran. No, I'm kidding. It's all right.
I got a picture of everything.
There's a smooth shaft, and
but yeah, I mean, and then what's his name? Bezos, which I never say right.
Bezos.
He came back from outer space and he called up Vance Jones from CNN, who does all this work with like prison reform, which I figured you'd like him for that, Mike.
Yeah.
And he tries to.
It's Van Jones, not Vance.
Yeah, Vance.
Yeah, Vance. It's the same fucking thing.
So anyway, Van Jones, the guy with the little Santa Claus glasses, and what I can't ever say his name. Jose, is that his name?
Jose.
He owns the World Kitchen,
Jose
where they
Andre?
go to like where there's disasters and they build these kitchens. And
I know that guy.
And Bezos came back and said, "Hey, I really respect you. I'm going to give you $100 million each.
Yeah.
Here's your allowance."
And then he pulled out his wallet and he was like, he had it in fucking bills.
$100 million. I mean, they were interviewing Van Jones, and he was like, he called me and said, "Look, I'm going to give you $100 million." And they go, "What did you say?" He goes, "I couldn't say anything. My mouth did not work." I mean, I never heard of anybody getting $100 million. You know, we go, "Hey, they gave him like $10 million." Like 10. I'm not saying $10 million is a lot, but $100 million.
Well, but then you said he was bragging. He's like, I want to thank the people who work for Amazon and the people who spend money at Amazon.
That's bullshit. That is
Right?
such bullshit.
Yeah, I mean,
Is that what he said?
I think
What he said was, he goes, "I want to thank everybody who works at Amazon and all you people who buy from Amazon because you paid for this."
Yeah.
Exact words.
But yet I haven't got a delivery in 2 days in fucking a year, you bastard. Prime this.
I got a box yesterday. It had reentry marks on it.
Oh, hey.
But yeah, I don't know if you guys saw the Richard. I know I'm obsessed with Richard Branson, but if you haven't seen his spaceship Galactia, or whatever it is, Galactia.
Do we have a picture of that?
Yeah, we do. That's the only picture I got.
What it was it was a spaceship. It was like a rock, like an airplane. It was like a catamaran.
Yeah, it's a weird design.
Hung underneath it, and then the thing would take off, and then all of a sudden it would just drop it. It would free fall, and then they'd ignite the.
Didn't James Bond have something like that?
It looks like it would have been a Bond thing.
He looks like a Bond. Richard Branson looks like a Bond villain.
Yeah.
But no, they piggyback
He's a cool dude, man. He is the coolest.
They fly into the edge of space, 55,000 feet. That's how far high they go. Then they drop the rocket. It has a rocket engine that fires for about a minute, brings it to the edge of space. They all get floaty and go, "Oh, look at this," and then they come on, man.
Well, they actually never get weightless. The way it works is, now it comes to the scientific moment with John Ferrantino. What happens is
we need a
at the top of the arc for 4 minutes, when the spaceship starts to fall, it's a feeling of weightless. It's not really anti-gravity.
Welcome
it's not like
science.
It's not like going into space where there is no gravity.
Well, that's scientific facts.
It's like the way they train. It's like the way they train those astronauts, where they put them in the back of the planes.
The vomit comet. They call it.
Joe and I were on a plane once where we hit anti-gravity.
No
bull. We were going up to where we were going. I don't even remember. We're going up for
one of those little Piper Cubs.
No, it was like a regional jet, I think. It was a little plane.
It was. It was a.
And it dropped so violently.
Oh shit!
That my knee came up and hit me in the jaw or something.
Oh, shit!
Or my elbow. You were bad too, right?
Yeah, it was.
Your whole elbow was black.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty scary because just before it started to fall, I just fell asleep, and then all of a sudden it's like. It's just.
I think they said it fell 3,000 feet.
Holy crap!
I've been in planes that have fallen severely and but not freaked out. Wow, that's a big drop.
You saw Apollo 13, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, now there's the NASA has a jet they call the Vomit Comet that goes on a parabolic course, and it goes up and when it hits the top of the curve, and that's how they filmed all the weightless scenes in Apollo 13. They actually put the set on that plane, and they flew like 400 or 500 times doing that. So it's not funny, but yeah.
Well, I think it's funny that these guys, like when Richard Branson came back, Bezos said he didn't really go to space. He goes, I want an asterisk after his name.
None of them went to space. They're in a soundstage smoking weed. You're in space, man.
So I looked it up, and the controversy is that NASA says space starts at 50 miles, right?
Right.
They went 53 miles. Europe says that it's got to be 60 miles. So he went to 63 miles. So they asked these astronauts, they go, so do you think that, Branson went to space? And the guy goes, we're talking about an endless amount of miles in space. You're going to bicker over 10 miles? Yes, he went to space.
But did Bezos get a free delivery if he got it back in?
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to give Bezos some props, even though I'm not a big fan.
Why? Because it was shaped like a penis?
Well, of course, dude. No. No. Because Branson was like in an airplane. Bezos got strapped in and that thing launched. It was a rocket.
Yeah, so I think it is addicting, strapped in.
However, they say that Branson's form of travel will be much more economical because it was based on the space shuttle.
And safer. It's going to be safer also because it's...
Hey, wait, let's talk a second about the guy that spent $28.4 million for a seat on that spaceship, and then at the last minute decided he had a business meeting.
Wasn't that Lane's Merge?
And couldn't go.
It was Lane's, right?
That was Lane's Merge.
Now, I think they asked Lane's if he would take his seat, and Lane said he was recording that day. No, but seriously, I mean, how crazy is that?
So did they refund his money? Or
No.
The meeting had to be worth $28 million, I guess, right?
Well, you get a $28 million write-off,
He probably just did. Don't you think he punked out at the last time?
Yeah. He
sounds a lot better to go, I have a business meeting rather than I'm scared.
Yeah.
I just be scared.
I got a business meeting. I didn't just shit my pants or nothing. I can't.
Let me ask you guys.
Would any of you guys go? Would you guys?
That's what I was going to ask you guys. If that guy called up right now and said, hey, I'm a big fan of the Bitchin Baby Boomer podcast, and I can't go, so I'm going to give my seat to you. I already called Lane's. He can't make it. Would any of you guys want to go? I have no interest.
No interest.
No.
Well, I would want to go, but they don't have enough booster power to get off the pad if I'm in there.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. I mean, I know Ralph wanted to bid on a ticket.
Right.
Really?
Yeah. He wants to go more than anything.
Well, if they called me, I'd tell them, no, take Silkie. He's more dynamic than me.
I'm not interested.
And you guys are like space freaks. I figured Craig's already got his spacesuit in the closet.
No, I have my. There you go. I loved it when I was 9. I was putting this together when I was watching the moon landing. I loved everything about space, but I'm not going to get in a rocket. Yeah. No,
I don't even like ladders. Forget about going to space.
You're right.
What about shoots, Mike?
Do you guys ever hear the great comic from England, Eddie Izzard?
Oh, sure.
I love it.
Okay, Eddie Izzard used to do this bit. He says, in America, you can do anything. In America, you walk along with your dad, you look up and you see the moon, and you look at your dad and you go, Dad, someday I'm going to walk on that planet. And your father puts his arm around you and goes, you're for an American. Anything is possible. He goes, it's not the same in England. He goes, you're walking along with your dad, and you go, see that planet? Someday I'm going to walk on it. And your dad goes, we got a really big ladder in the garage. Maybe you should settle for that. Because it's just a different way of thinking.
No, actually, I had to fly recently, and I hate flying. I have to take a friggin' Xanax when I fly.
I can't fly either.
Really?
So, for space, they'd probably have to, whatever. Listen, I'm going to be flying soon with my monkeys, but that's a whole different story.
Aren't they flying monkeys, though?
I'm doing a little genetic work on them as we speak because they are mean, they are nasty, but they're not quite stabby enough. So I'm doing a little bit of genetic work on them.
He just called the wizard.
He got a good deal on chicken wings. So he's putting chicken wings on them.
Chicken wings on. Yeah, it's not. Look, you can sew them on, or you can genetically modify them. So I'm going for the other one.
All right, and now it's time for Craig Mitchell to bring on a really good friend and somebody we're really happy to have on the show. Take it away, Craig.
So this week, guys, we have a really super funny guest, somebody who I've known for years, and here's a little bit of her stand-up.
I turned 65. I've had a lot of health problems this year. I've had more body parts moved around this year. I'm starting to feel like Mrs. Potato Head. Oh, my God. 2 years ago, I had both hips replaced. I had a pacemaker put in. About a month and a half ago, I had my spine rebuilt. I know. Last Christmas, I had quadruple bypass surgery. I know. My doctor says now, with all my new parts, I could live to be 100. Have you ever seen 100-year-old people? They're friggin' creepy. Oh, my God, they always have him on the Today Show in the morning. Right? They wheel him out. Poor bastard doesn't even know where he's at. He's looking around like, is this Iwo Jima?
She's great. She's been doing comedy for over 40 years. She was a quarterfinalist on America's Got Talent. You can see her on Showtime and More Funny Women of a Certain Age. She has a phenomenal story, and she's somebody I admire very, very much. Please welcome Julia Scotti.
Hey. I have a mint in my mouth.
You've been through a lot lately, haven't you?
You can't. I know. I had breast reduction while I was waiting to come on here. It doesn't stop with me. Yeah. I've been through a lot. Yeah.
We are a full-service show. So. Yeah.
And you can see all that I've been through in the new documentary on my life called, what's it called?
Oh,
Here we go again.
Funny that way.
That's it. There it is. All right. Now that we got the plug in, get it away from my face. Okay.
How many times
I've heard your intro like 5 times, and I had that in there every time, and I forgot it. So
yeah, I know. Yeah, all right.
Greg Mitchell, what are you going to do anyway?
So are we done? Oh, we're still going. Okay.
Thanks for stopping by.
Tip your waitresses.
This is Craig's last interview.
The contract's not being renewed.
Next week, my monkeys are going to do the interview.
We got canceled while you were waiting in the waiting room.
Oh, whatever. It'll be the first time.
So, Julia, you and I share a common bond. We both had bypass surgery. I had 5 arteries done.
Oh my! You had 5 done? Okay, I had a pig valve put into and a repair of another valve.
Wow, I haven't had any valve work, but
so fuck you, man! Fuck you! I got you beat.
Oh no, I got 11 stents too.
Oh really? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. God, it's amazing we're here, huh?
I'm like,
I know that's something to be so proud about it.
I'm like,
it's heart surgery competition day. You know?
I'm a little constipated.
Did you have them, Silkie? Did you have them all at the same surgery? Not the stents, but the 5.
Yeah. And that was like over 20 years ago, and the grafts are only good for 12 years. So,
are you serious?
Yeah.
So your grafts are as good as David Crosby's liver.
Oh shit!
Joe, is your engine light on? I'm just curious.
No, I went yesterday.
I didn't know that about the 12 years. So you got to go back in and get it redone.
I don't know what they got to do. It's, it's like,
oh my God! Thank God I'm as old as I am.
Yeah. Well,
I called up a couple of months and renewed his warranty.
Yeah, because that's right. We noticed your heart's about to stop beating.
I'm a big shot when I go to the pharmacy. I mean, they clear the way for me, and they to give me gifts because I get so much medication.
The thing is, I feel better now than I did. I didn't know how sick I was. I don't know if that was the case with you, but
I think they clear the way for you because you're on that neighborhood watch.
So Julia, I wanted to ask. I worked with you years ago, and then I got reacquainted with you when you were on America's Got Talent.
Right, you've been bothering me ever since, Craig, and it's got to stop.
I just wanted to ask you to talk about your journey and getting on America's Got Talent, because I'm telling you, it's a courageous thing, and I'm still in awe of what you did, and it's influenced me greatly.
Well, thank you. In reference to what I did, I came out as transgendered on the show. So, it didn't decide right there on the show. I was already transgendered. That would have been I'd have won the fucker if I had done that.
Would have given America a heart attack.
Oh, yeah.
Was Howard Stern one of the judges then?
No, it was the first year he was off. It was, who was it? It was Howie Mandel. So I think he took his place, right? Howie Mandel? Yeah. They just substituted one Howard for another.
The only difference between them is blowing up a glove on his head. Right.
The story goes, I was sitting in my living room watching it, and you were doing a set, and you were destroying, and there was something familiar, and then you did your reveal, and I literally just it took my breath away. I'm like, oh my. And I tell you, I came out gay on to the world on June. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
You're kidding. I'm shocked.
I'm out of here.
Yeah. Oh, but
Hey, Craig, you're gay?
Guys, last night in bed you were all
never
cool.
mentioned.
You guys, you don't even need me. I'm out of here.
I know. Ask Julia questions.
I am. Well, I was going to say when I came out, it was one thing, but seeing you on HET made me go back and reboot my comedy career and be honest on stage for the first time. And it felt fantastic. I want to ask you how it felt. I'm sure it was, when you, how it feels now, how it felt then.
Well, one of the reasons I quit in the first place was because I was just tired, and I felt like I was a hackosaurus. It just wasn't. People were, all my colleagues were just zooming past me, and I wasn't getting anything. And I just said, all right, well, it's not going to happen. And so when I came back...
No comic strip live for you.
No comics. I wasn't going to bring it up, John, but now that you mentioned it, 17 auditions. Nothing.
Really?
No, I never auditioned for them.
Okay.
Okay. But when I did come back, it wasn't with the intent of doing it for a living. And it also, I had two criteria, and they were to be honest up there, totally honest, and be fearless. And so, as long as I could do that on HET, I was fine. It was scary, but I wanted to do the set first before I did the reveal. I wasn't sure I was going to do the reveal, but I wanted to do the set because I wanted the set to stand on its own.
That's
very
great.
Cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Now, was that before or after your comedy album, which is Hello Boys, I'm Back, which is hilarious? I have that.
Yeah, Hello Boys was after. In fact, I got Hello Boys because of the show. The guy, David Drozen from Uproar Records, I guess he watched it or he reached out to me shortly after the first show aired and signed me. But I'm doing a second one in November, not for him, but for 800 Pound Gorilla Records, which we're recording it in November. So
cool, very cool. And
where are you going to record that?
I'm doing it at a little theater in Ambler, Pennsylvania that I love. It's called the Act 2 Playhouse, and I've been there several times, one of which was with my buddy Kevin Meaney, where we were doing a show called Big Pants and Hot Flashes.
We're Big Pants people.
We were Big Pants people. And in fact, that's the very first place we did the show together. And so I have a special place in my heart for that place because of that, and because it's just a great little theater and really smart, intelligent audiences. And in a packed house, there's only 130 people, but boy, the roof shakes when you're killing in there.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you need. You need those loud theaters where it makes
Well,
you
they're working with us. Yeah, and that was a concern of mine that we weren't going to be able to, with COVID and all, fill the theater. So between my fan base and they have a subscription, we're doing 2 shows on a Saturday, one in the afternoon at 3:00 and one I think at 7. So to accommodate, the older people, if they want to come out to the early show, they can do that. And then the 7:00 one. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I'm excited. All I'm excited about is this.
and your documentary, which came out, you actually got a lot of phenomenal attention. 2 things I was really impressed with. I'm going to ask you a follow-up question. But Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah.
I actually have a clip of what she did here. She actually mentioned it. Have you met her, or did you talk to her about that? Because she was really impressed.
I have not. I know somebody who it was a friend of a friend of my manager knew her, and somehow got her attention with the movie, and I guess she watched it and really liked it. We were really, really grateful to her. I would love to meet her because I'm a big fan of hers and I admire her. What she did with with the LGBT community, and she's kind of an icon too for us. So yeah, she's cool.
She is cool. I saw her about 2 years ago at the Hollywood Bowl, and she got stung by a bee on the bottom of her foot while she was performing, and she just played it. And I was just impressed. I mean, she's naturally funny, and she just had that ability. So
I believe that. Yeah. She's a sweetheart. So.
And Deadline actually said that you're going to be the new Betty White. Right? So my question to you is, who would you rather be, Rose Nyland or Sue Ann Nivens?
Oh, wow. That's a good question. Sue Ann, I think, is a meteor, closer to my personality. Yeah, I think Sue Ann would be my choice. As a comic, we were kind of cynical and bitchy and just... But Rose is so sweet, you can't not love her.
No, absolutely. I mean, but what was your reaction when you saw that? What was your first reaction when you saw
I was like, well, all right, I was thinking Eve Arden, but all right, I could.
Eve
Arden. Now everybody's looking at Eve Arden. Who's Eve Arden?
I know.
It's a really a wonderful compliment, and she's, as we know, we all love Betty White. Who doesn't love Betty White?
What was the show Eve Arden was in? I can't think of it.
Amos Brooks. And later on, the mother's-in-law was Kay Ballard. Yeah.
I still watch Mother's-in-Law.
Mother's-in-law is funny, yeah. Uh-huh.
I just first said when you said that, I just remember having a flashback here and I go, and Eve Arden.
And you know what? Desi Arnaz produced that show.
Right.
They shot it at Desilu, which we did one of the AGT shows at the old Desilu studio, and it was the coolest thing because they shot, among other things, MASH there. All of the Mary Tyler Moore series was shot there.
Star Trek? Which studio is
Star
that?
Trek, yeah. And Seinfeld was there, too. So it was like, I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Which studio? I've worked in a few studios, and I know that a few of them claim to be the original Desilu. Which one is the original Desilu?
I can't remember the name of the studio. It's small. It's not a big studio, but all of the streets are named after Mary Tyler Moore shows, like Newhart Way. And
who's my second cousin?
Who?
Mary Tyler Moore.
Is that right? Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's why he gets the top box.
Yeah. Wow. How is it? Well, she is from, where's she from? The Bronx or Brooklyn? Brooklyn, right?
Brooklyn, yeah. Yeah. I was telling the guys the other day, I just remember when she first started breaking in, it would be like a family chain because there was no conference calls. Mary's going to walk by at 9:00 on this show. Like we all have to turn on the TV. It was really exciting.
No,
Did you know
from Minneapolis?
Did you know her?
Yeah. I met her a few times, and I went to a couple of tapings of the original Dick Van Dyke Show.
All right, now I have a question. I guess you might say it's of an incestuous nature. Then, being as how she was your cousin, were you allowed to lust after her?
I was a little young, but I was reading some biographies that says that she was the heartthrob of the country, and she started the pedal pusher craze.
How old are you?
71.
You're older than I am, so you don't remember that? That she was that.
He smoked a lot of weed back then.
Yeah, but I mean, how old was I then?
I'm younger than you, and I remember it.
He was at Woodstock. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, I was at Woodstock.
John, I just finished watching all 5 seasons again. This is the 4th time I've watched all 5 seasons of Dick Van Dyke.
Okay, this is pretty interesting. This is just a little Dick Van Dyke trivia. In the beginning of the show, they didn't have a warm-up act.
Right.
Dick Van Dyke would come out and actually trip over that hassock every week.
Is that right? All right, I'll give you.
Would just roll. That's why there was a couple of shows where he'd come out, he would kind of step around it, which got his just a big.
Oh, so that was a cold opening.
Yeah, that was his cold opening. Yeah.
All right, let me give you something then, because I when I was recovering from heart surgery, I had nothing to do. That was one of the times I watched the whole series, and I was always fascinated by the slip, and so I slowed it down, frame by frame. 4 hours I watched this thing. It was like watching a Zapruder film from the Kennedy assassination. I'm watching this thing. I can tell you exactly how he did it. He did not flip, even though it looks like he flipped. He tumbled. It was a tumble, and it actually goes to the side. It's beautifully done though, and that's an interesting note to know that he did that week after week.
Week after week. That was the opening of the show.
Now I got to go and look and see if he had the same clothes on for every time he did that.
John was the guy on behind the grassy camera.
I'm telling you, I was backing it up frame by frame, and I'm like, oh, there's what he did. I see what he did.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, though.
I saw the taping where she gets her toe caught in the faucet.
You were there?
Taking a bath. Yeah, that was one I saw.
You were there when I thought they taped it in L.A.
Yeah, they did tape it in L.A.
Oh, you were in L.A.?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
It was our big family vacation one year. So it was really exciting.
Oh, my God. Oh, I have to... All right, touch my hand. Oh, man, that's just one of my favorite episodes.
Oh, that's a funny episode.
Rob puts the mustache on. Did they do that in one take where he did with the mustache?
I don't remember. I just remember her being in the bathtub with her toe in the faucet, and there was like big cloud of secrecy, so no one could see anything, and it was pretty interesting.
Oh, that's one of my favorites. Oh, I'm so jealous of you. He's kind of a bitch. The only time the only big person in my family was in prison, so we got to go visit somebody.
It turned out to be Michael Green.
That's right.
Mike probably knows him.
Hey, you can be a big star.
Here's how sad it is. I'm the most famous person in my family. That's
that's not. I mean, you're a famous person. That's not too shabby.
Yeah. No. Hey, my monkeys are more famous than me and my family.
What is it with the monkeys? What's with the monkeys?
Should I give you the quick background? We had a friend of mine, a comedian named Fred Klett, who was very, very funny.
Wait,
he has
Klett?
Klett, Klett.
All right.
He has 60 million hits on his Right Bar comedy special.
Shut up.
60 million hits.
I hate him.
He talks about when he was a kid that he had 6 brothers, and on the back of Boys Life magazine, you could buy a spider monkey for $11. Yeah. So they bought one. And the monkey showed up, and his father goes, just get them down here. Who bought this monkey? And they all had to lie. And then they would get calls, like, over the PA at school. Would one of the Klett boys please come to the office? Yeah. Your mother says the monkey's stuck in her hair.
Yeah. But the thing is, I found out you can get discount monkeys, man. Come on, who would want a monkey for $11? So I'm building an army of monkeys.
This is the second. Have you ever heard Taylor Negron's monkey story?
No.
You have got to go on YouTube. He does a moth talk. You know what the moth talks? You know what they are? From the blank looks on your faces, I'm going to go, no. They're kind of like TED Talks, but they're called moth. It's storytelling.
Right.
Okay.
And it's on YouTube, and he tells the story about how he was a kid, and he wanted a monkey, and how he came to have this monkey for Christmas. But it's also about his cousin who was the lead singer for Three Dog Night.
Really?
And yeah, I'm not even going to give it away because he tells it so beautifully. But go to YouTube and look for Taylor Negron, the Moth. I think it's called The Monkey. I think that's what it's called.
That's great.
Just beautifully told and funny in a way.
Very funny.
Oh my goodness, I love it.
It's got to be a good story if it's got monkeys in it.
And
got Monkeys, Three Dog Night, and then Jim Morrison in it. Yeah, they're all. Oh. It's really a fantastic story. I'll give you a brief, just to whet your appetite. Jim Morrison comes over at Christmas with his cousin, from Three Dog Night, and he brings, I think it was Cass Elliot, and some real luminaries from the rock world. They're all stoned. They're out of their mind, right? And they put on Jeremiah Was a Bullfrog for the first time for his family. His mom and dad are there, and they're all dancing in the living room, right? And the monkey hears the music. And the monkey, it's a chimp, and it comes down the stairs. And it turns out that the monkey was a circus monkey, and he began to do what monkeys do, which was dance. And so I'll leave it at that, just so you go and listen to the story.
Well, his cousin's name was Chuck Negron.
Chuck Negron, that's right. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, I didn't know they were.
Yeah. Uh-huh. How talented is that family?
We actually found the ad in the back of a magazine that we ran that had $11 spider monkeys.
I remember that ad. I remember Boy's Life because I was a failed Boy Scout. Obviously. Wait, there's no merit badge for this? What are you kidding me? I gotta write that down. Wait a minute.
That's a good one.
Or you could watch the show.
Fuck you guys. I'm too busy making a living.
At least somebody is.
I'm writing this all in. Failed Boy Scout.
You have to think about what the patch would be.
Yeah, no merit, bitch. That's great. Thanks, guys. I like it. You gave me a. All right. Okay. All right. There we go.
And, I had another question. Speaking of writing, on Facebook, I follow you on Facebook, and almost every day you have shower thoughts, which are irreverent and hilarious. And I'm wondering, is that what you do a lot of your writing? Because I actually do. Not in your shower, my shower, but
No, actually, I do. Whatever shows up on Facebook is usually for Facebook, and it's usually stuff I won't use in my act because I can't piece it all together. It's like, right. Just sort of random bits. But a lot of people comment on shower thoughts. They like them. Thank you. I appreciate that, Craig.
Sure. And that and going into the Wawa and speaking to Jesus is another.
Jesus at the Wawa is another one. I haven't had one. I was thinking of that this morning. I said, I really have to have a Jesus at the Wawa story because people ask me in clubs about those.
Really?
For those of you guys who don't know, I did a series of Jesus. I'd be going to the Wawa, and Jesus would always be outside, and he'd be just hanging out. He was a homeless guy, and he would ask me to buy him stuff in the Wawa, and I never knew for sure if he was the real Jesus or a guy named Jesus. So that's the hook on the story.
I love it. That's great.
Yeah.
You don't want to take a chance.
You don't want. That was the whole point of the original one. And then I just got to like him as a guy,
I think he must be the real Jesus because he smokes and he has no adverse reactions to it.
Well, that's right. He smokes like a chimney, right? He smokes like a chimney, and he eats all the worst crap you could possibly eat.
The way you can tell is if he takes the sandwich and he starts feeding other homeless people with it, and it keeps multiplying, then that's the real guy.
Well, what he does was one Thanksgiving episode, I believe, he was going to feed. We have railroad tracks around here. And the homeless families live back in the woods where I live, and they, it's a rough life. But he was going to feed these people, and so he does do Jesus-like things, and so again. But you never know for sure if it's really him or not.
I got to tell you, I did not know it was based on a real person. I just thought you were just doing, creative writing with it. I didn't know it was somebody you really saw.
Yeah, I made up everything about him, but when I happened to see him outside this Wawa one day, I'm like, gee, that was Jesus. And he turned, he went, what? I went, no, no, but he did. He looked just like him. Yeah.
Wow. So the world is opening back up, and you're getting back to work. And how did you deal with the past year with COVID, and how does it feel now to finally getting back out there again?
I wrote a play over the year. I took that time to finally write the play that I've been wanting to write, and
like a one-woman play.
No. It's a cast of 5, I believe. It's in it. Yeah, 5 or 6 people. Yeah. No, I don't. I can't do it one woman. I can't remember that long. I really can't.
These are the names of all the people I got to talk about on the show today.
I got to keep remembering there's an I at the end of your name, Julia. So hold that way, John. I'm surprised you didn't bring up Vito Scotti and the Dick Van Dyke. We were talking about Vito Scotti.
Yeah. Are you related?
No, Scotti actually is my mother's maiden name. It's a very common name in Italy. We probably are somewhere along the way, but he was. I like to tell people, we were. You may be Mary Tyler Moore's second cousin, but I am related to Vito Scotti.
Okay.
And you also were just in a short film. I'm going to forget the name of it. I know Joy was in the title.
Relatable Joy.
I'd never seen you. You did a great job in that as an actress. I was really, really thrilled with that.
Thank you. That was my first foray into. It was a student film, and I'd never done anything like it before, and I really wanted to see if I could do it. Well, because of that, we just got 2 scripts, 2 sides for auditions for both dramas. So go figure, right?
That's all. How do you feel about doing drama? Would you rather do comedy or drama? Does it make a difference?
You know what? I like everything. I will do anything. I should say the first script we got was a kind of a comedy, like a dark comedy. This one I just got is a straight up drama. I like them both for different reasons. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know when I acted, I always love doing drama because it's more of a challenge. Comedy comes so easy, but when it's drama, you actually have to, work and do your homework with it.
We say that because we're comedians. It does come so easy to us. But to someone we've seen dramatic actors and actresses just go down in flames trying to do comedy.
Oh yeah, they say it's the hardest thing to do. Yeah. A dramatic actor will tell you the hardest thing in the world is comedy. Yeah,
because we know sorrow. We've all bombed. We've all driven home. Late at night, I suck. I quit this. So we know what that feels like.
It's always when your friends come.
Or a parent shows up.
Right.
Or an agent.
Or without fail, when you're going to tape your set.
I got to tell you one thing. There's a story. It's legendary between my friend and I. I had an audition for Letterman at Dangerfields. So a friend of mine arranged it. And the week before the audition, I fell. I almost broke my ankle, but I couldn't walk. I had to use a cane. And I'm hobbling. I said, nothing's stopping me from this audition. Right about Thursday, I guess, it was going to happen on a weekend night. About Thursday, I developed this cold that I was like, I sounded like Babe Ruth as he was saying goodbye at Yankee Stadium. So I go up, I'm hobbling up there, and I'm dying. I got a fever, and I'm dying 1,000 deaths. And to say I didn't get Letterman, it's sort of me like, me not getting John's show either. Right? Yeah. It was a nightmare, but.
Well, you say a friend set you up at Dangerfields? That's not a good friend.
I know. Well, actually, I arranged it because I wasn't getting prime time at the Improv at that point, and I wasn't, and I shouldn't have. I wasn't ready for Letterman anyway.
Standing on that stage at Dangerfields and looking out, you felt like you were in a Fellini movie.
Oh my God!
I just expected while you're on stage to see a mime in the corner crying.
I still remember Scott Blakeman. It was so bright. He told me, "You find the edge of the stage." He goes, "Otherwise, you will fall off."
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
And you had to stand in the cutout of the piano that was never used.
And you would wonder, for the one time that I don't know, Buddy Greco would come in and do a set, but it was the 2 nights I remember. Proms were always horrible. I remember the Japanese audiences. I mean, where they would just fill the entire room.
Yeah.
And they spoke no English, and and what do I do? And Bobby was like, "Do your fucking act. That's what you're going to do."
Bobby was the only reason why you would work there.
Oh, he was the best. What do you walk in? I walk in. I go, "Hi, Bobby." He goes, "What do you want, you fucking piece of shit?
Yeah.
Get out of my."
I love it. If somebody be on stage he didn't like, and he go, "Listen to this fucking worthless sack of shit tied in the middle." Right, and loud enough so everyone could hear too. Really.
Oh, he was great.
Do you remember Stanley Ullman?
Yes, of course I do. Yeah.
I go to James Fields once, and Bobby goes, "Did you bring me a picture?" I go, "No," and he goes, "Let's go over to the box." And he goes over to the box. He goes, "Jews, Dagos." Right. He's going to the thing. He takes out a picture of Stanley Ullman, and he goes, puts it, looks at it, goes, "This will do." And I go, "Bobby, I mean, Stanley Ullman." I go, "That looks nothing like me." He goes, "Oh, tell me your eyes fixing your shaved."
Oh man, and then Teddy with the bartender. Oh my God, that place.
You guys had good experiences there. When I auditioned there, the guy before I won, he goes, "Okay, here's the thing. If you do good up there, you can work the road."
Oh, you can work anywhere. Yeah, you can
I
go
go
anywhere.
up, did my set, came off. He goes, "Stay in the city, kid."
They was downstairs in the dressing room with everybody getting high down there,
Man.
It
was a fun place unless you were on stage.
I was at a prom show once where they didn't leave, and they had the line all the way up around to where Chippendales was. And Otto and George were there.
Oh.
And Bobby just walks up to Otto and goes, "All right, Otto, go punish them." and Otto went on stage, and I mean, I got to say what he said. I mean, for 45 minutes, just said cock.
The very first time I saw Otto doing the Kennedy, I didn't know he had.
He did that too.
I didn't know. I had never seen it though before. Oh my God! And it was one of those nights where look, it looked like somebody shot me in the eye. Looked like that guy from The Godfather, Mo Green. Wait, I gotta. That's fun, and just to see the audience's reaction to that. Oh Jesus!
Well, but I mean, he proceeded to walk the entire room, packed, except for these 4 people, which he got off stage and sat at their table, and just couldn't get them to leave. And he walks off stage and he goes, "I'm really sorry, Bobby. I couldn't get those last 4 to leave." And Bobby goes, "That's all right, Otto. Nice job.
It's, there isn't another job, I don't think, on the planet where you could have as shitty a group of war stories as we all have and laugh at them and know how shitty they were, but it didn't matter because you survived through it all. We made it. We really did. We made it through.
It's been a pleasure having you on the show. I've admired you for years. I consider you a friend, and I just wish you continued good luck, and I can't wait to see the project you're working on.
Thank you.
Good luck on your taping. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited about that, and I really would like to see this play produced at some point. But you never know. But there's a lot of exciting things for all of us. We're still young.
Oh, yeah, we brought Julia on the show to cheer us up.
Good work.
Yeah, you depressing bastard. You're getting on my nerve.
Julia, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Anytime you want to come back, let us know.
Thank you. I'd love to come. It's just a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. So take care of yourself. Lots of success to you.
Thanks.
Yeah, we'll have to check with Lanes to see if we can let you back on.
That son of a bitch. All right, guys. I love you.
Me too.
All right, love you too. Congratulations.
All right, that was fun. Let's wrap this up, guys.
Yeah.
All right. So we'd like to thank everybody for being here this week. We'd like to thank our sensational guest, Julia Scotti. And we'd like to remember you've got to go to our website, and it is www.bitchinbabyboomers.com. www.thebbbradio.com and go there. All of our past shows, our present show, and we have a podcast there. If you can't watch it, you can just take us wherever you're going. Yep. And let's thank all the guys. Let's thank
wait, don't forget. We go on YouTube. You can go on YouTube, type in Bitchin Baby Boomers, or press the link from our website. We're on YouTube. And then when you get there, subscribe. Maybe make a comment like, hey, you guys are okay. We like you. Do whatever.
Or how much is a monkey?
How much is a monkey?
And you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Craig will tell you where, because I can't remember.
You think after 8 weeks he would have remembered.
Well, I don't know the Instagram one. Mike, what is the Instagram address?
Yeah, it's Instagram Boomer Bitchin Baby.
Perfect. And on Twitter, it's the BBB Radio Podcast. And that's it.
That's it. And stay tuned next week's Wacky Time with the boys of craziness.
Tune in next week to more Bitchin' Baby Boomers.